When you're embroidering on the Husqvarna Viking Designer EPIC 2, the buttons right above your foot will actually do a few different things than what they do when you're sewing. So let's just go over some of these features here. So for example, the very first one, this is your start embroidery button. That's obvious. Start and stop. Now let's talk about start and stop because there is a stop over here. And right now with the design on screen that I have, it's got 6 colors with the light lit. Okay, so you can actually get that light to unlight. Is with the light lit, it will stop at each color change. Now, if I accidentally, I should say, push the stop button to stop the embroidery, obviously it will not stop. You'll need to touch this one. It will take all the color stops out and it will make your design turn out one color. So it will start at color 1 and stitch all the colors until it's done. Not probably what you were expecting. So if you did want color change, make sure that that light is lit up with the stop button. Let's continue over here, speed, minus, and plus. Most of the time, I'm going to ask you to run your machine at full speed. I know some people like to run it a little bit slower for some reason. The only time I would run it a little slower is if you had some thread that was a little fussy. On occasion, metallic thread might run that way. If that's the case, you just need to find some metallic thread that is a better quality, that you can run the full speed, and it will work beautifully. So yes, you can adjust the speed, but I think that's why you bought this machine, is for its sped up abilities. So if you're always reducing the speed, why did you buy it? All right, so next step I will show you is what is called the fix button. Now in sewing, that means that it does like a locking stitch. But in the embroidery world, what it does is adds a basting box around the design. It will actually look like this. When I touch fix, you will notice that there is a box, a little dotted box that has shown up around this design. So we'll stitch it in place. Those stitches are nice and long, easy to take out, and this is great if you have a piece or project that is not hoopable and it's just floating right now on the top of your stabilizer. You can definitely get it to attach to the stabilizer by basting it. Well, you can also touch right down here the basting options and have basting in the hoop. So you can actually have it go around the outside perimeter of the hoop, not just where the design is going to stitch. And you can actually put both on. As you can see, I've got both the little bubbles selected, but as I touch fix over here, they will undo that fix function. So if you don't want it on, you can go ahead and turn it off. So I love that that button is right at my fingertips, so when I do need it, I can just touch it. I don't even have to come on screen and use the function on screen to select that. Back to some of the other features, your presser foot up, that will lift it a little higher. If you ever have a lot of thick fabric when you're trying to put the hoop on, you can get that foot to go up a little bit more. You really don't need to touch the foot down button unless you want to, because as soon as you push start, the foot will go down and start stitching. But you still have those features, the down, the up, and then the super high up feature as you touch them on the buttons. Now here's probably the one I use the most. It's the needle up down button, but it's going to do something totally different. It is called a trim position. So sometimes when you're doing applique, you need to kind of trim out some of the fabric after you've placed it in there. And you can take the hoop off the machine and then do the trimming and then put it back on. But so many times if you just touch the needle up down button, the hoop moves to the upper corner here, and what it does is brings the embroidery design to you, almost like this beautiful little tray that you can often get in with your scissors, applique scissors, and trim that out. Now if it's very detailed, I will take the hoop off the machine and trim it on a flat surface. But really quick, as soon as you're ready to start, you can just push the start button. It will return to where it needs to start, but I just love that feature. Even sometimes when I'm placing additional things in place, if I'm doing it in the hoop project and I'm ready for my zipper, I'm going to push that needle up down button. It'll bring this out here and I can see a lot better that I'm aligning it correctly. There is a trim position on your screen, But again, we're going over the quick buttons that are right here at our fingertips. Now, speaking of applique, if you are taking the hoop off the machine, you will notice that when the hoop comes off, that the bobbin thread is not cut. It is not designed to be cut until the very last color and stitch. It cuts it at the very end. But sometimes what I'll do, if I remember, I'll touch the scissor button, which will cut the top thread and the bobbin thread. And then when I pull my hoop out, I'm not connected to my bobbin, and makes it a little easier. So I don't use it a lot, but when I do remember to hit that before I take my hoop off in the middle of a design, that is helpful. So those are your buttons for quickly going through things that will be helpful while you're embroidering. Now, if you really want to get good at all these buttons, definitely check out our Embroidery Essentials online course. There's links below this YouTube video. We will be covering over 15 different embroidery techniques. It's 3.5-hour course plus 90 minutes of bonus content. And we're going to be doing so many embroidery techniques, and you are going to be using your machine in ways you never thought possible. And what's going to actually happen is you're going to get so comfortable with your brand new Husqvarna Viking Designer EPIC 2 that the two of you will fall in love, and you'll be using every part of the machine and to its fullest. So check out the Embroidery Essentials online course. We'd love to have you join us.